Brought to you by Express Care Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
Welcome back to Healthy Living. If you're just joining us, we are talking about home remedies for the common cold. Express Care's Dr. Yit Kalam is here to provide some answers for us. So we were talking before the break about some of them, the home remedies, from sweating it out, staying hydrated. What about Vicks? You mentioned Vicks in the hot water. I know I do this with my kids. We put it on their feet, put on socks, put it on their chest, on their back. What about this? Does it actually work?
Well, one thing that Vicks really doesn't work on is toenail fungus. Probably you've heard that as a home remedy. T, I haven't heard that one. I hear that a lot. People putting Vicks on their fungus. That really doesn't work, and it can actually damage your nails permanently with the camphor that's in Vicks. So scratch that from your home remedy list. But as far as Vicks, it's got the camphor and it's got the menthol, and it does seem to make people feel better when they inhale that. As far as just maybe the vapor is soothing. It does bring you a feeling of cold or coolness to your chest if you're very hot and so on. Actually, as far as like even the company itself does not sort of believe or advertise that putting it on your feet does anything. For, you know, it may be that people's feet are hot when they're having a fever and this makes them feel better. There are many things that make you feel better, which is fine, but they don't necessarily cure you or make any difference in the outcome. Most of the time it's just a question of time, where you're doing things to help alleviate discomfort, but you're just patiently waiting for your body to go through the healing process.
I always tell myself that it makes their runny nose go away. But all right, so let's talk about some natural remedies. I've read about zinc, echinacea, probably a bunch of other stuff that I can't pronounce, but do these actually work?
Okay, for the common cold, they have been studied. None of them actually do change the outcome of the common cold, meaning taking zinc lozenges has been studied scientifically. It doesn't shorten the cold or cure the cold. Same with echinacea, it doesn't shorten the cold or cure the cold. Both may possibly make you feel better, especially echinacea because it's got a little bit of a decongestant property there. So your goal there again is to first prevent the cold by washing your hands, okay? Don't share drinks with people who are sick, okay? And keep your immune system strong by getting enough rest and taking your vitamins and getting good exercise, eating properly, keeping your stress down. First, prevent the cold. But if you do get a cold, then the remedy would be trying to rest, trying to drink your fluids, and taking anything that helps you feel a little bit better, like your Tylenol, a decongestant, a natural herb, if you find that for you, your body, it helps you feel better. But still in 2013, there's no cure for the common cold.
All right, it's just a lot of rest and hydration, I think you said. All right, so I want to get through a couple of our quick viewer questions now. Does green mucus really mean I have an infection and need to see the doctor?
Oh, that's such a great question. No, it doesn't. Many people will have green mucus. That just means that there are inflammatory cells within that mucus. Sometimes it'll be yellow, sometimes it'll be green. If you don't have a fever, it usually doesn't mean that you need antibiotics. If you have a fever, you're coughing up green stuff, especially if it's bloody, then you really may need antibiotics. But most of the time, this is so important for people to know, 80% of bronchitis is viral, meaning if you have a cough and you're coughing up stuff, 80% of the time it's a virus and it will pass. And what are the national guidelines? Don't even worry about it until the cough has at least been there for 10 days, and oftentimes it will last a whole month before your cough is gone. So things to do for the cough, you know, again, lots of fluids, rest, your hot water with honey and lemon is helpful. Benadryl is something I like to use because it has some sedating properties and it seems to help a bit with coughs. Then there are more, stronger prescription cough syrups. Now, a difference is if somebody's a smoker, okay? If you're a smoker and you're coughing up green stuff, you probably do need antibiotics. Or if you're somebody with chronic bronchitis, you keep getting that, or you're diabetic, or you have some other health problem, then you would need antibiotics. But the average person who comes in and they're a young, healthy person and they don't have a fever and they're just coughing and coughing up a little bit of color, they will get better on their own.
Okay, good to know. I've read that ginger can help with my cold. Is this true? And what is the best way to ingest it, either through a tea or eating?
Ginger, again, is a heat-producing food, right? When you eat it, you feel hot in your mouth. It feels it brings heat. And so it may help you feel better, and there's no harm in it. As far as curing anything, probably not.
Okay, and then our next question, should I stay away from dairy and eggs if I'm really congested? Will they contribute to my congestion?
Oh, that's a really good question too. For some people they will, especially some children with asthma or bad allergies. If they drink milk, they will find that they have more congestion, more mucus. That's just how people react to milk sometimes. As far as eggs, it could be true too. So this is very individual, not across the board. Some people, if they find that their body reacts that way, then stay away from milk and eggs, and that would be listening to your own body.
Okay. Is oatmeal and whole grain toast good for a cold? Why? What makes it help with the cold?
I think it just gives you comfort. You know, warm soups and oatmeal and a cream of wheat and those type of things are just very soothing foods. But again, I don't believe that they might cure anything for you.
Nothing like some good kadu when you're sick.
Yes.
All right. Is exercise while sick really good for you, or can it have the opposite effect by zapping your energy?
Yeah, zapping your energy and increasing your heat and also your dehydration. So, you know, sometimes people are on a mission to exercise every day, and or they're trying to achieve a certain goal. Maybe they're preparing for a certain event, an athletic event, and you know, when they get sick, this really interferes with their plans. Unfortunately, you really just do need to listen to your body and take the time to rest and recover. Lighter exercise, maybe a short walk or some stretching, these can be helpful to you. But if you're ill with a fever, especially, you definitely shouldn't be running around. And this is important for parents with children too. Sometimes people are tempted to give their child some Tylenol and send them to school and hope that the school doesn't call. That would be a bad idea. So if your child has a fever, please let them stay home and avoid letting them run around, especially outside in the heat.
Okay, and our last question before we close out is it feed a cold, starve a fever, vice versa, and is that just a myth?
Well, when you have a fever, your immune system is busy fighting an enemy, whether it's a virus or a bacteria, and it doesn't, and that's where your body's resources are going towards this battle, and it doesn't really need additional blood going to your guts and to your intestines to digest food. So if you, again, here you would be listening to your body. Most of the time when people have a fever, they don't feel like eating. Other people will tell them, you should eat something. But actually, no, listen to your body. If you have a fever, you don't feel like eating anything, please drink lots of fluids, lots of water, but don't feel like you must eat. And especially if you have some intestinal problem like gastroenteritis, meaning you're having vomiting or diarrhea, definitely don't eat. Your body's telling you that. On the other hand, when you have a cold, you may feel a lot of comfort from drinking some soup or some warm tea or those kind of things, and then again, you would be listening to your body. So I think probably it's very good advice, especially if you have a fever, to avoid eating heavy foods or large amounts of food.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you again for all that great advice.
You're welcome.
And we look forward to seeing Doc again next week when we will be picking up our discussion on different home remedies for other ailments as well. So if you would like to send us a question, you can send it to healthyliving@kuam.com. We will be back.